What's up, everybody? So in the video today, we're gonna be doing something that I never do anymore, because today we're gonna be taking a look at a piece by a brand that I currently, as we stand right here, right now, I know essentially nothing about. I've seen them around, I thought their stuff is kind of interesting, but I decided to go out on a limb, purchase a piece, and we're gonna check it out today. So I have this hoodie from the brand St. Michael. But the thing is, I don't know what this brand's all about. I like the pieces, I've liked a lot of the graphics, but are they authentic? Do they mean what they say? Are they actually about anything more than just making kind of cool looking clothing? I don't know, I've gotten burned before. So before we take a close-up look at the details of this piece, before we put a fit together, anything like that, let's figure out what St. Michael is all about. So join me on this journey. Let's go. All right, let's do this, because all I actually know is that it's the guy from Ready Made, a Japanese designer, and some other guy, I think an American or like a Western guy. So it's like Asia, Western world, you know, together, streetwear, luxury, vintage. I don't know. I want to understand more. St. Michael wasn't the right thing to Google. Okay, here we go. So we got HBX. Is there a write-up about them, maybe? Hypebeast. Sure, let's see. Because I like what I see, but the question is is it authentic, right? Is it not is it legit? Do I need to legit check it? But are they real about it? Or is it a dumb cash grab kind of lame posery type of thing? And this page isn't loading. All right, here we go. Juice Store, Hong Kong. St. Michael is the brainchild of ready-made designer Yuta Hosokawa and LA-based visual artist Callie Thornhill DeWitt. Yeah, so California and Japan, which is super interesting. You do not see that very often at all. So it's like a two-hander, and it's not just a collab, it's an actual brand. So I think that's super cool. And obviously you get a very interesting art style. From what I know about Yuta, he is all about vintage effects. Not just vintage effects, vintage pieces, classic pieces. He likes clothing history, especially American vintage sportswear, all that kind of stuff. You see it in the ready-made stuff. But what I like from what I've seen of St. Michael is that they then bring in this kind of esoteric kind of vibe with the religion, and it has this kind of mystery to it and also a bit of edge because of that. But the thing is, I also sometimes it seems like it's legit religious, and other times it seems like it's ironically religious, sacrilegious, you know? So I also don't totally understand that, but I do like it. This graphic is very cool. Saint Mother, I like the style, the distressing. It does feel very authentic to me. These socks are horrible. I'll just throw that out there. Underlying chaos of the universe. I don't know, it just reminds me of the most interesting punk hardcore band t-shirts from when I was coming up, you know what I mean? This is a very good graphic. Super striking on the front. Do not make your time on Earth into a cheap joke line on the back. I dig it. Creepy, weird, again, that sacrilege. Obviously, you get a kind of Sonic Youth vibe to some of this stuff. This art feels very early Enfant Riche de Primé to me. Varsity jacket, choose your savior. Interesting. So yeah, I tentatively like it quite a bit. I think that there's one more thing I want to figure out, which is can I find an interview with them? I want to hear in their own words what they're about. Okay, here we go. Article on high snobiety, generally pretty decent interviews. Terrible headline. One of 2020's dopest new labels. Dopest. I don't know. I sometimes use dope as an adjective, but I don't know if I'm that upfront about it that I put it in the title. All right. Ready Made, right? Yada yada. Japanese label. Yuta Hosokawa. I've got to get that in my head. Yeah. Upcycling alchemist. I do like that. That's really well put. Army surplus stuff, that kind of thing. All right, now writing a brand new cross-continent project with Callie Thornhill DeWitt. Everyone knows who DeWitt is. Yeah, I think he worked with Kanye, right? Yes. Okay, so they hit it off immediately. Unveiled in Paris, streetwear essentials that have been battered, bruised, and adorned with all kinds of mysterious voodoo to achieve a one-of-its-kind, time-worn aesthetic. That's what I really like about it. No one else is doing it exactly like this. Yeah, here we go. They get it. This High Smarty article on dripping personality. That's 100% true. Like, let's go through some of these early St. Michael pieces. Very cool. Super interesting, super unique. Okay, so we process everything by hand. I love that. Totally different from ready-made. It's a new brand. Okay, working dynamic. He does things at his own pace. St. Michael should be a brand that isn't rushed. I like that. The history of vintage clothing when they hold it. 30-thread cotton hoodies. Finished in a drum tumbler for a distressed effect. That's so interesting. That's all we get with it. All right, you know, I think I'm in. I think I get it. So it's got like the kind of hype because... So it's got like the kind of hype with the Kanye West associations, but it seems like, at least in the process of constructing these garments, that they're doing it in the right way, and that's the most important thing to me. So I think I'm good to go ahead and say that I am about this brand. But now that we know that, let's actually check out a piece in hand and see if all this stuff about the authenticity with how they make it actually follows through into an actual piece of clothing that we have here. All right, let's talk about this bad boy. We're definitely going to talk more about this graphic right here. I'm super into it. Also, first off, this is a collaboration with the artist Haroshi. Japanese artist, I believe, kind of the same like street art community as like Sorayama and Takashi Murakami, people like that. Very cool. You can already see the very apparent elements of distressing and also just the cues that they've taken from vintage clothing and sportswear in general. But first, let's dive in on the tags. So I'm just going to go over all of these because I'm not totally sure what's relevant and not. 2G, I think, might be the shop tag, like wherever this originally came from, but we'll look at it anyway. You've got sizing. This is an XL. We'll definitely talk about sizing later. They list the color as navy, which, I mean, I don't know. It's more of like a blue-gray, but all right, navy it is. Model number, all that stuff. Pricing, yada, yada, yada. And then on the inside of this, St. Michael x Haroshi hoodie, extra large navy. All right, so that's the 2G tag there. But then this is the tag that I'm assuming comes with every single piece here. We've got St. Michael up in the top right. Nice classic font. That's our model number here. HRS, Haroshi. Hoodie, extra large. They've left the price blank. You know, I'm guessing that's for the retailer to put in. And then it's a duplicate. I guess, yeah, you can see this is perforated here. Super interesting tag. It's on this like gray string. And what does that go to here? That goes to a little black safety pin here. Oh man, there's so much to talk about. You know, let's just dive right in and go into the tags at the back of the neck. And there's more here, as you can see. So this is actually sick as hell. And from what I can tell, like, there's no way this is a print. So I'm pretty sure he actually signed this in Sharpie. Haroshi, little dot in the middle, dashes on either side. I just think that's a really, really sick touch. And it's not just like signed by the artist. It's signed in that way that when you go to the thrift shop, you see how people have put their names inside the collars in this exact place. It's just like super well considered. And then we got to talk about the tag. So stitched down on all four sides. We've got a lot up here, which is blank. Off on the right, size XL in kind of like a Comic Sans-y type of font. Ooh, what is this? St. Michael Judgment. I don't think every single tag looks like this, so they must customize the tags based on the collection or capsule or whatever, which is super cool. And then onto the care tags. These are super, super worn and wrinkled, even though it's a brand new piece. So even down to the care tags, they like distress and vintage those. St. Michael, and then off it's going sideways. Size XL, 100% cotton. And then on the back, you've got all the washing information. the model number, which matches what was on that tag there, and finally, made in Japan. I love like Japanese construction of stuff. They really seem to pay a lot of attention to like historical garment making and bring that into the looks, which I super appreciate. All right, and now we can talk about the rest of the piece, and I think I'm gonna dive right in on this graphic here. You can see this is like a stenciled out graphic, and it gets more and more faded as it goes upwards. So you've got positive, that's the smallest, mental, attitude. And this, I'm assuming it's a reference, it may have been, you know, co-opted over time, but at least in my head, I take this as a reference to the seminal, iconic hardcore punk band Bad Brains. They're part of like the holy trinity of hardcore punk. You've got Bad Brains, your Black Flag, and Minor Threat. I'd say those are the top three. So Bad Brains, super iconic, even though like this isn't the most striking of all the St. Michael prints. This one speaks to me personally, so that's why I picked up this one. And then on the back, this is more where Haroshi comes in. Again, super faded, so let's zoom in here. We've got this character right here with the kind of blaster arms, right? And it says Guzo on there, also in this outline style, super faded. I'd be incredibly curious to understand how they achieved this kind of hyper faded look. It's super, super cool. I appreciate the treatment of it. All right, and now I think it's time to talk about the treatment and the cut and the styling and all that good stuff, and I think we should start right up at the hood here. So this, I'm assuming you can tell by now, this is like a classic crew neck cut. So it's got like the ribbed V right here, and then this ribbed crew neck that actually goes around inside here. And what they've done is they've actually attached a hood after the fact. If you go and look at any hoodie in your closet, the hood like is the collar essentially, but this is collared and hooded. It's like an extra piece that is stitched down around the edges and folded inwards. So it's a completely different approach to a hoodie. I have to assume that the earliest hoodies were probably done more like this. I think maybe Champion were the first ones to do it. But anyway, classic like American sportswear style. You can tell this has been tumbled a million times over already to give it this super, super rough, worn look. The inside also super nice and warm, so you get this really nice soft terry cloth kind of style on the inside of the hood. No, I really like it. And then some classic white sportswear drawstrings coming down around the outside here. So you get these kind of like bonnet flaps off to the side of the hood that you're not going to get on like any other modern hoodie. All right, so now that we've checked out all of those details, it's time to put this hoodie on, see how it feels, how it fits. But first, we've got to pull together a little fit to go with it. So this is actually going to be a nice, simple look. It's a simple, like vintage sportswear piece. That's the hoodie. And then we just need, I think, some pants and some shoes, and we'd be good to go out into the world. So for the pants, we've got these nice straight leg bondage canvas jeans. I don't even know what to call them, from Enfant Riche de Prime. I think the fit will work really well with the hoodie. And then for shoes, we have these really nice pink suede 80s Odessa sneakers. I honestly do love these things. And the color of that sole, I think will actually play, both these colors should play nice with that hoodie. All right, let's do this. All right, okay, so this hoodie is like nostalgic just to wear. It has that very, very specific feel of wearing, like when you're a kid, wearing a big brother's or a parent's or a grandparent's old worn piece of clothing for whatever reason. It does not feel like new stock. It feels like something that you picked up at a thrift store, an Army Navy surplus store, whatever, which I think is exactly what they're going for. So they have 100% nailed that in both the feel and the look. It's really hard to even put your finger on. It's hard to describe in video form, but it almost feels like just, you know, when you've washed something 100 times, and especially on the inside of the piece, the fibers start to loosen up, poke out a little bit. There's just an extra, it's both fluffier and rougher at the same time, but in that nostalgic, pleasing kind of way. Now, what about the fit? This one I intentionally got oversized for myself. This is an extra large. That's how it's tagged. And I would say it fits maybe like just slightly oversized. Like I don't think this is a true to size extra large. It's more like half a size up from that, but I think that's the kind of fit you want from a brand like this. So if you're just buying a piece, I would definitely get your normal size and I wouldn't worry about it. It will fit a little bigger than like I think a Supreme piece or something would, but I think that's how it should be. So I guess the final question, the reason we did this entire video, is St. Michael a brand worth having your eye on, worth paying attention to, worth maybe even picking up? I would say yes, I think so. They have the fashion bona fides with the ready-made collection. They have that kind of like Kanye West American streetwear kind of swagger. So when you put those together, you do have something really interesting, and with the vintage sportswear aesthetic, along with that kind of mysterious, creepy, religious, esoteric imagery and text, it all comes together into, I think, a very, very pleasing package. So yeah, I'm in on St. Michael. I hope we can keep covering them more often on this channel because I think they're one of the more interesting brands out there right now. All right, my friends, so that is the St. Michael PMA hoodie. I definitely understand this brand a bit better now. I hope you do too. Take a look at the other video on screen here, subscribe to my channel, like this video, and I'll see you next time.